Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. Today is Tuesday, July 11th, 2017. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, the City of Tullahoma has completed the budget process for this year. We'll tell you about a new youth boot camp program in the area. The Fly Arts Center in Shelbyville has a new play opening later this month. And we'll give you some helpful information about ticks. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. The Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen have approved the annual budget for 2017-2018, which includes a modest raise for City Judge Jim Conley, but did not, however, require a tax increase.
We're ready for old business, ordinance number 1485, an ordinance of the City of Tullahoma, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2017, and ending June 30th, 2018, as amended, for passage on third and final reading. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Proper motion. Proper second. In discussion. Oh, yes, sir.
Staff did recommend one amendment be made.
Right, but that's coming up here in a minute. Right. All right. All those in favor of the motion, vote green. Opposed, vote red.
Before you make that vote,
I just now got your hint. My fault. All right, so let's don't.
We didn't really vote.
My fault.
She hadn't shown the lights yet.
Yeah.
you've got it on the floor for discussion.
Right.
You might want to entertain amendment motion.
All right. Okay, a motion will need to be made and seconded to adopt the fiscal year 18 budget on third reading if the Board of Mayor and Aldermen concurs with staff recommendation regarding the compensation of the position of city judge, then a motion and approval will be needed to amend the fiscal year 18 budget to include the changes proposed above. Finally, assuming adoption of the motion, a vote will then be taken on the budget ordinance as amended. Okay, the floor is open for an amendment.
Motion to amend the budget for the city judge salary
Increase.
increase.
Is there a second? Any discussion? We're voting on the amendment. We good so far?
Yes.
And it's for 7 years, right?
8 years. 8-year term.
$10 more a year.
Something like that. He said he'd appreciate anything. So we'll go for 10. Yeah. All right, all those in favor vote green, opposed vote red. Motion passes 7-0. So it is the 1485 has been amended once again. So do we have a motion? We do have a motion on the floor and properly seconded. Any discussion on the amended budget? All those in favor of 1485 as amended, vote green, opposed vote red. Motion passes 7-0.
The board also approved the rezoning of a parcel of land in South Polk Street after addressing the concerns of homeowner Tara Simmons about the proposal.
This is the first one, a public hearing on ordinance number 1470, an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the City of Tullahoma, Tennessee as set forth in the Tullahoma Municipal Code, which is ordinance number 1392, to rezone a parcel located at the southeast corner of the Crest Drive Lindsay Lane intersection from R1 Low Density Residential District to R2 Medium Density Residential District.
Thank you for having me. My name is Christine Holliday. I have lived at 314 Highland Drive for over 30 years. My house is directly across Lindsay Lane from this property. This land was owned by Mr. Pascal Shelton up until April of 2015. When he owned it, hay was grown and harvested on this land. Southland Properties bought this land knowing that it was zoned R1. They stated at the November Planning Commission meeting that the land was bought as an investment. They also said that if it remained zoned R1, 4 single-family homes could be built on this 2.5-acre property. They have decided to request the change to R2 zoning so that they can build 3 units of 2 condos each for a total of 6 2-bedroom, single-story brick condo units. Southland Properties also stated that there is a need for this type of housing in Tullahoma. This is an older, established neighborhood of single-family homes. This is what the people of the neighborhood are trying to maintain. We do not want 6 condo units to be built in our neighborhood.
My name is James Warwick. I live at 313 Highland Drive. I have also provided a summary of my reasons for each of you. We feel that this proposed change to the zoning for R1 to R2 is in direct conflict with those. Because the change, we don't think it's desirable, and we don't think it's necessary, and we can't see no positive contributions to it. The reason given by the applicant for wanting the zoning change was to allow construction of 0 lot line homes. Well, we feel that only benefits him. It shows no benefit to us. What other effects will this have on the applicant? It will not deny him full use of his land. He'll still have full use of his land, but it will restrict him to single-family homes, and he will not be able to build as many building units under R1 as he would have under R2.
Thank you. My name is Marty Land. I live at 105 Highland Drive. Excuse me. Been a resident approximately 15 years. Grew up in this neighborhood as a child, so I've been part of this community for a very long time. I'm opposed to this rezoning, and I would like to request that the board reject this zoning. It's most of the reasons have already been stated. It's only going to negatively affect our property values and can in no way improve the neighborhood. It can only work to decline it, I believe. And so I'd ask that you reject this rezoning, abide by the wishes of the existing members of this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't plan to speak.
Your name and
My
address.
name is Sheila Sudbury. I live at 312 Highland Drive. And I didn't plan to speak, but something drove me from the time I got off from work to sit and write this. And I would like to thank you for listening to our concerns as taxpayers. I myself have paid taxes to this city for nearly 50 years. For the 50 years that I have paid, I could have bought that property. Okay? And I think that you all need to consider the impact of this rezoning for one reason, and one reason only. We deserve it. We deserve it. Okay? I'm very nervous because I've never spoken publicly.
You're doing
But
fine.
if you choose to pass this zone change, know that you are taking the character of our neighborhood away. And it affects the value of our property, which I worked 30 years to pay off. I worked 30 years. Okay? I don't know if you can say that, but I can say that. Question: is this spot zoning of an individual parcel of property in a manner different from that of the surrounding property? Now that, folks, that's what it is. You can sit and tell me everything you want to tell me, but that is the difference. It is the difference.
We'll be right back with more Newsleader on 6.
The Russell Barnett Automotive family has launched its new Owner Advantage program. It starts as simple as your first year's maintenance is included with the purchase. We have 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plans available. Car detailing, car rental, collision repair. Stop by one of our 5 locations and let one of our certified sales staff tell you all about it. The Russell Barnett Automotive Family Advantage Program. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Welcome back. Newsleader's Amelia Marquez spoke with Bunny Hawker-Smith about the new boot camp program for the youth of our area.
I have with me Bunny Hawker-Smith.
Hi, I'm glad to be here today, sweetie.
Absolutely. But I understand that you have a program that is impacting the community with children, and we are so proud to have you on the show. Can you explain that to us just a little bit here?
Well, I spent most of my life working with kids, you know, and so I spent 5 years in the district attorney's office working the child support division, and I spent 8 years administrator for juvenile court in Franklin County, and interacting with human services to help children. And I spent my whole life being a part of children's lives. I mean, I have 3 kids of my own, and I'm proud of them. They've all been successful. They're all professionals, and I want to help other kids. And so I've taught martial arts for 37 years now in the same location. Been very successful and helped many children. I even have district attorneys, I have judges, I have professional football players that came through my martial arts program, and it's just, and they come back today when they see me out in public, and they'll tell me about back when they was in my school, and how much they learned from studying martial arts, and how much it helped them in their career, and to stay positive and to move forward and finish what they start. And so I'm very creative, you know. I reinvent myself all the time because I want to keep things moving. So I created this new program, boot camp, and the reason is today, not like it was back in my day. Children, we need to reinstill discipline back into children. I've seen the schools have lost a lot of the respect and a lot of the discipline that was there back when I was in school, which is many years ago. But today we have so much computers, we got these tablets, we let, you know, and parents kind of like buy their kids these computers and tablets and just like want them out of the way. And these children not getting physical fitness. They're not learning the respect and the good morals and the good standards. And I want to instill that back into kids because we need that's back in the school system as well. Our school systems need help, and I hope that these programs like I'm developing will help in many ways in the community, not just at home, but in the community and at school and everywhere else. So I've created this boot camp, and what it is, it's a military, it's an organized, structured program to put discipline and respect, and we teach good values, we teach teamwork, we teach leadership, and I want to get this back into children so they can be successful in life. We want to teach children finish what you start, because in today's society, parents let a child start football, basketball, soccer, and they'll start this and quit. They'll start that and quit. And parents kind of like lets the kid be in control. And the traits that the children are learning is that if I don't like something, I can just quit. Well, what's going to happen is later on in life, as they grow up and go to school, a lot of them drop out of college. If they don't like it, they'll quit. They hadn't been taught to stick with it regardless, because at times it's going to get hard and it's going to be a lot of work. But you don't quit. When it gets hard, you push harder. So I started this boot camp program to reinstill discipline back into the children. So it's just the same as military. It's boot camp. They go through an obstacle course, and but now the children know that I love them. They know it's in fun, but the key to it is you can teach a child discipline and respect and good values if you make it fun. So here we are, I'm teaching them right here teamwork. They're learning right now how to work together, how to carry their load. Each child has to do his part. You can't rely on the other kids to do yours for you. So we're watching them, we're making sure everybody is carrying their load. And these children are carrying logs on their shoulders. and it takes every one of them to carry it. Here we're teaching them structure, and they're learning. Also, it's a bully-proof program. We're teaching them how to defend themselves. When you have a child who'll stick his chest out, look you in the eye, speak loud and clear, have that confidence and that self-esteem, bullies don't bother those kind of kids. They look for the weak. So we're teaching these children not to be weak. We're teaching these children to be mentally and physically strong.
We'll be right back after these messages.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. The Fly Arts Center in Shelbyville will be presenting the play Best Christmas Pageant Ever. Brandon Taylor, who will be directing the play, tells us more.
I just felt like I met the nicest new friend. Brandon Taylor from Shelbyville with the Fly Arts Center over there is directing this wonderful play, and the name of it is?
The name of the play is The Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
I love that you're doing it in July.
Yeah, it's a nice little Christmas in July type of feel, so
Yeah.
so we enjoy it.
When does that come on?
It opens July 14th. There are only 2 performances.
Okay.
It opens July 14th.
Is that Saturday? Or
That's a Friday.
Friday,
And then
okay.
it's also 15th on Saturday.
Okay.
Both at 7 o'clock. Tickets are selling fast, I got to tell you
bet
that.
they are.
Yeah.
The Fly Center has a fairly small performing area. I think it's 110, something like that.
108 seats.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It's a thrust theater. It's not a proscenium theater. So.
And that means there's 3 sides.
Yeah, the audience is on 3 sides as opposed to what's here at South Jackson, where the audience is just in one
spread out.
side. Yeah.
And but your tickets are only $7. Is
Yes,
that what
ma'am.
you told me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, and we put up the information.
Hey, there's the
So,
website.
Go to the website.
Check out the website, guys.
Can you buy tickets on the website?
You can.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And you'll have them in your hands, so you don't have to go stand in line. I like that.
Yes. Yes.
And for instance, if you're out there and you want to make a donation, or if you would like to be a sponsor of a show, can they just call that number and somebody will call them back?
Yes, call that number, 931-684-8359. Ask for Sylvia. She's the one that handles all the marketing. So if you want to sponsor, she's your woman.
I'm assuming you're in full rehearsal right now. You're the director, right?
Yes,
you ought to
yes.
know.
I'm the director. Well, I'm co-director, co-producer.
Yeah.
My partner is Amanda Underwood. We are.
Amanda's the wife of
Morgan.
Of
The wife of
Morgan.
Morgan,
I don't know why
yes.
that didn't register with me. Very active in the theater.
Of course, yeah. We actually had auditions in May, and we've been rehearsing through June, and we've got 3 weeks left, so we're about to start doing full rehearsals and full dress rehearsals. And
Is there music in that play?
there will be. Yes, we have a musician. His name is Andy Gibson. He's very good.
Great.
So
you put a little music in there.
yeah, of course.
It's a fun show. It's been a while since I've seen it, so if I get a chance, I'll pop over there and see it. I know that it's all about Christmas, and there's some funny things happen, right?
Yes, yes. So what happens is that there's this church that's putting on the Christmas pageant, the Nativity story,
right?
And they're putting it on, and the chore or the blessing, depending on how you want to look at it, of producing the pageant has fallen onto a woman named Grace Bradley. And it's her first time doing it. She's never done it before. She's putting it together. And then you've got this side story of the Herdman kids. And the Herdman kids, what the script says, is they are the meanest and nastiest kids in the whole history of the world. And they invite themselves into the pageant.
To get involved.
And the mom, Grace, she's at first terrified, but then she starts connecting with the kids, with these Herdman kids who had honestly never been connected connected with before.
Yeah.
Because they've always been seen as the town hoodlums, the town bullies.
There's a beautiful story there.
There is.
There's a beautiful
Yes.
story because of the way to hook a lot of kids that are having trouble in school or trouble in life, get them in the theater.
Yeah, get them in the theater,
And that's kind of what happens there, I think.
yeah,
isn't
and,
it?
and really just reach out to them,
Just
because
reach
what Grace does is that at first she's the only one that accepts the kids,
right?
And you know, she does it because she has to put on a show. But then as the play goes on, we see these relationships start forming, and then by the end of the show, the Herdman kids are transformed, and then so is everyone else who once thought, oh, these Herdman kids could never change, they're so nasty and terrible. By the end of the show, they're like, oh, they're wonderful kids. Yeah. They just need help.
I just want you to know how much I appreciate what's going on in Shelbyville. We do stuff like that over here in Tullahoma.
Yes.
But the fact that we have such a great theater in Shelbyville, Manchester, Tullahoma, we're proud of that. Brandon, I've got to go.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came. Why don't you come back? We'll talk some more about stuff.
I'd love to.
More Newsleader on 6 is coming up in a moment.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Welcome back. The hot July weather is making an already serious tick issue even worse. Let's watch this video to learn how we can better protect ourselves from these disease-bearing pests.
Like fleas, ticks are blood-sucking parasites. They attach themselves to their host and remain attached for an extended period of time, often several days. During this time, the tick will become engorged with blood. This extended feeding period makes the tick an ideal carrier for various bloodborne diseases. Common diseases transmitted by ticks include Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Lyme disease, and ehrlichiosis. Only a small percentage of ticks carry these disease-causing organisms. These diseases, when present, occur more commonly in certain areas of the country. It is important for you to identify the specific tick-transmitted diseases that are common in your area. It is also important to recognize that some of the diseases ticks carry can also be spread to humans. A tick-infested environment not only puts pets at risk, but also their owners. Removing a tick from an animal should be done with care, not to squeeze the body of the tick while pulling it off. Careful handling reduces the chances of infusing infectious debris and organisms into the animal from the tick. Grasping near the head of the tick where it has attached itself to the animal and creating gentle pressure will often be sufficient to initiate its release. Gently pulling the tick straight out away from the skin is usually adequate. Once the tick has released, clean the area thoroughly with alcohol or hydrogen peroxide to help reduce the chances of infection. Dispose the tick in a small jar of alcohol and save it if possible. This will help for identification of the tick to determine if infection has occurred. You may sometimes notice two ticks attached to the skin and hair. These are mating ticks. The female ticks will become quite engorged with eggs and will often obscure the presence of the male ticks. As many as 8,000 eggs are contained in some engorged ticks. The female tick will detach herself from the dog or cat and return to her environment to lay her eggs. Most ticks infecting dogs and cats will need 3 hosts to complete their development. Upon hatching, the young seed ticks will search out a source, such as a rodent, for their first meal. The seed ticks will feed on this first host for a few days and then drop off to molt to the nymph in the environment. After several weeks or months, the nymph will often climb to the tops of the grass or weeds and wait for a passing animal. Once they have clinched on a passing animal, they quickly set out to get a blood meal. The nymph will feed for a few days or a week and then drop off to molt to the adult stage. The adult stage will then seek out a host on which to feed. Because of the large number of eggs they lay in their environment, it becomes extremely important to control ticks, not only on the pet, but also in the environment.
So the reason you don't want to really hurt the tick is actually that the tick is feeding on you and salivating. And so when you burn the tick, it salivates even more. Pretty much you're scaring it and it just goes bleh into you. And that's what you want to avoid, because in the saliva you have potential pathogens. So you want to avoid that. The safe way to remove ticks is to take your tweezers, and you want to go as close to the skin as possible. And you want to hold on to your tick, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to hold on and you're going to pull straight up. Slowly, steadily. You don't want to twist, you don't want to jerk, you just want very steadily to hold on to your tick like this and pull up like that. Now you have your tick. The mouth parts are there. People worry about not having the head stay into you. They don't really have a head to speak of. All they put in there is little mouth parts. They're sinking their teeth into you. And so the teeth, when you remove them that way, you can see them. They're right there. The place where you had your tick, always a good idea to disinfect with alcohol and to monitor the area just to make sure. Wood ticks don't transmit Lyme disease, so you wouldn't have a problem with that. That said, they are a little critter that lives in the wild, and there could be some kind of bacteria, or even just because there's a hole in your skin, you could have staph infection or anything like that. So just clean the area with alcohol or soap and water.
And don't forget to tune into this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include representatives from the Black Iris Arts Center that has recently opened on the square in Manchester. They will tell us about the different art classes and meetings they have at their place. Also, Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell will come by and tell you how not to be taken advantage of by scam artists. All that and more on this week's Living.
Stay with us. We'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
Keith Barnett here with the Russell Barnett Automotive family. Over 75% of car shoppers today use the internet to search for their new or pre-owned vehicle. That's why the RussellBarnett.com website is so versatile, where you can check it anytime, all the time, online. You can search through our new and pre-owned inventory by make, model, mileage, or price. We can value your trade-in and get you pre-approved for financing before you even walk in the door. So check out RussellBarnett.com, and remember, why buy anywhere else?
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1969 at 97 degrees. The record low was in 1952 at 51 degrees. The average high on this day is 88 and the average low is 66. Mostly clear weather expected tonight with a low of around 67. Partly cloudy weather expected for Wednesday with a high of 86 and a low of 73. A 40% chance of storms moving into your forecast for Thursday with a high of 86 and a low of 73. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
Have a great evening.